So next we have the gracious and the most beautiful and very, very talented artist, Ruth Davis. Ruth Davis has such a beautiful story about how she turned her grief into beauty through her art. And she began her art career after her grandparents, Carmen and James, passed away, leaving her distraught and heartbroken. And painting for her was like a therapeutic act. It helped with the healing as she really dealt with all the emotions that surfaced. So I'm going to leave you to Ruth to share her own story. Ruth, thank you for being here today, and we look forward to what you've got to share.
Hiya, everyone. Thanks for coming. So as Avnie said, I started painting after my grandparents passed away. I've been painting professionally for about 3 years now. I started a year after they passed, and through that year I just was an absolute mess, didn't know what to do, how to cope or anything. And then one day I pretty much just decided to start painting, and it really helped me be able to channel my emotions and get them out just on canvas. It was a more healthy way to deal with it, I think, than what I was doing beforehand. And they really meant everything to me. Like, they were a huge, massive part of my life, because my dad also passed away when I was like 5. So my granddad and nan were like even more super important. I had that father figure from my granddad. So then when he passed, it was kind of like losing both. And I felt like as a kid as well, I hadn't really dealt with the death of my dad, because obviously I was so young, I didn't really know what the hell was going on. So even that in itself, I got like different coping mechanisms through them doing that. But this is definitely a nicer way to do it with the painting. But yeah, I kind of feel that all of this stuff doesn't really get easier as well. You know, people are like, oh, it gets easier as time goes. I just feel that it's more every day you kind of learn in yourself how to like cope in a different way. You're just like, I'm gonna have to get up and get on with it anyway, regardless. But I feel quite a lot of guilt, as obviously people do, around deaths and stuff as well. So I think all of that did proper push me to start doing my art as well, because I was like, I need to do something for them. So like when my granddad went, I was the only person who wasn't in the hospital room with him. So with that, it was shit, basically. And then with my nan, I was like half an hour late to see her before she went as well. I was literally like going down the escalators to the underground to go see her. So yeah, with that, I always feel like I could have been a little bit earlier, or I could have just stuck it out. And yeah, so because of that as well, I think the kind of year of, I guess, turmoil that I had was I had that all in my head all the time. And then I thought, start painting. They always wanted you to. They always said I was good, even though, you know, I kind of just thought that's them being nice to me, because, you know, that's what grandparents do, don't they? They support everything you do. And yeah, basically just started doing that, started painting. And then after after I sold my first painting to someone who wasn't friends and family, kind of like Wes said, like the professional kind of art didn't start until someone else could have bought a painting. But I've had exhibitions and stuff from it as well for the last 2 years. It's been a kind of crazy roller coaster as well. About a few months ago, I actually thought I should just give it all in and stop. I was just like, what am I doing? I had massive creative block, couldn't do anything for like a month. But then I thought, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to, you know, just sell to people and that. Like, I'm actually doing it for them, to give them a reason to like still be proud of me and stuff. Like even when I sign my paintings, I have their initials on it as well. I can actually show you. Look, it's like that. So that's my squiggly signature, and then it says CJ on the bottom as well. So they're kind of with everything that I do as well. When their paintings are up in other people's houses, that it still brings happiness to other people, because they bring so much joy and everything to other people, that I think that that's really important for them to still be able to do that in a way. Yeah, and I also feel that when I can tell my story about this as well, that it can connect quite well with people, because obviously everyone goes through some kind of death at some kind of stage in their life. And I did actually have a guy who bought a painting from me, and he said that the reason he bought it is because his wife passed away a few months ago, and he said that she would have really, really loved it. So as soon as he saw it, he bought that. And then through my painting, he thinks of his wife every time he sees it. So I was like, literally touched my heart so much. I was like, that's so lovely. And that's just like another reason for us to create as well. Like, it's not just a personal journey for us, like it affects so many other people as well. Yeah, like a deeper meaning. Yeah, definitely. So it is an amazing journey that I've been on so far, and I can't wait to push more, do more. I put a lot of pressure on myself as well for it, because obviously I'm like, I'm doing it for them, I have to be better, sort of thing. And I always want to take it one step more. Like, even if I'm doing good, I'm like, okay, it's not quite enough, I need to do something else, like just to prove that, I guess also to myself, that I can do it. Because for a very long time I just didn't think that I could do anything like this, like at all. I always wanted to be an artist, like even when I was really young. But you know, when you're like really young and everyone's like, oh, that's so amazing, and you've literally drawn a stick person, and you're like, yeah, okay, like is it? But yeah, from this, it's just really nice that I've been able to do that. And yeah, developed my own style as well, which is really fun. It's all about flowers, and it's abstract as well. And I haven't really, until recently, actually kind of sat down and thought within myself, like, oh, why is this my style? Why did I just start creating from absolutely nothing to decide to do this? And I think that it's because I have so many fond memories of being with my nan and granddad in their garden, and my nan's love of flowers, my granddad's love of art and colours. I just kind of, I think, smushed it all together. And now I have these like abstract kind of flowers, and they sort of represent how a flower will never quite be the same to me. Because obviously, like, even so, I have my garden now, and I'll see flowers in there, and I'm like, oh, they're really nice, but I can't share that with them. And I know that they would have loved that. So that's kind of always like in the back of my mind, like, oh, this is really beautiful, but it's not quite the same because of that. And yeah, then I even add loads of textures in my background and stuff. I am going to show you some pictures later so you can kind of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I have in the background lots of texture. I sometimes do like a shape of a flower and then just paint over it, because I feel that that is representing the sort of stages of the flower's life as well. So you can go from absolutely nothing to having this like beautiful flower, or then even it like dying as well, but then coming back. I think that that's like really important to kind of represent that in my work. So I love doing that. But yeah, I've got a couple of pictures that I'm going to share with you guys, just so I can show the work and that. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to share the screen.
Ruth, you're on mute, Ruth.
There we go. Okay. There's a bit of tune that plays. It's really annoying when I press the button, but just ignore that for a second. Okay. Right. So, right. So this is me and my granddad. I just wanted to show you, and then this is me and my nan. Just wanted to show you guys how cute they were, pretty much. And then, yeah, this is the garden that I take inspiration from, and my nan's roses, which are really lovely. And yeah, so this is one of my favorite paintings that I've done. It is called 34 Rose Arch.
Oh, Ruth,
And
can everyone see what Ruth is sharing? No. Ruth?
no. Okay. 1 second then. Let me just try. Okay. That's so nice. Let me just do this. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we can see. Thank you.
Cool. Right. Okay. So this is me and my granddad. This is me and my nan. And then, yeah, so that's the garden that they had. And her roses. And some more of her roses. Right. So this is 34 Rose Arch. And that is based on, obviously, the pictures that you just seen of the garden. And 34 was their house number. So I referenced that quite a lot in my art as well for that. And yeah, as you can see, I used the same kind of pink colour that was as her roses as well, which I love doing. And then that's just like a close-up of them, so you can kind of see more about what I was talking about, you know, like the texture and the like layering and the backgrounds and everything. I also do a lot of kind of Jackson Pollock sort of flick on the end of most of my paintings, because me and my granddad used to love Jackson Pollock. We also always talk about it and everything, and I love doing that. I actually had a wall in my bedroom that I flicked paint all over. It was supposed to go on one wall, but it did end up going on the ceiling and the floor and everywhere. But it looked lovely, so I didn't really mind. But yeah, so that is from that one. And then I've got this one and this one. So these two are like linked in a way because they are my like Monet inspired ones. So as you can see, I've got lilies there. And then the next one is called After the Lily Pond as well. But yeah, I do these paintings because we used to go to galleries all the time with my granddad, where they lived in like London. On my summer holidays, I would go up there and that's what we do. And I kind of fell in love with art through seeing basically all of the Impressionists, but especially Monet. And me and my granddad would sit and then go through his art books that he had of loads of artists and talk about it and just, yeah, we kind of used to talk out about it, and no one else really kind of had that connection with him. So that was really, really nice. And yeah, with this one, he used the lavender purple, which Monet was like quite famous for using. So I use that quite a lot because I also love purple. So that's really good. And then this one is my cherry blossom. So I do loads of cherry blossoms now. And previously, like I think for probably about maybe 2 years, I think it was, I couldn't figure out how to do a cherry blossom at all. I just couldn't do it justice. It was an absolute mess, whatever I do. But now I did this one just one day. There was actually a painting under it that I didn't like. And I was like, right, I'm just going to try a cherry blossom on top of it. And this is a 1 meter by 1 meter one. So it's absolutely massive. And it is lovely. And then, yeah, so you've got just some detail there. Like the layering is, honestly, it took me like probably about 3 months, just because I like dot 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 like that with the paintbrush and so much. And then that's me painting a commissioned cherry blossom that I got. And then this is the biggest one that I've done, which was 120 by 1 meter. And this is probably my favorite one that I've done of the cherry blossom. But I just love doing them because so the street that my nan and granddad lived on was loads and loads of cherry blossom trees as well. So it reminds me a lot of those trees and just walking to go see them. And also I feel like cherry blossom is, it's the first thing from spring. So it's like just from winter, the first thing that you see, and it's hopeful to me. So I also kind of think that there is like hope behind that, and kind of similar to me, I guess, in sort of like out of the kind of darkness of them passing and how horrible it was, for me to be able to like have something beautiful and create something like that. I feel that represents it quite well. But yeah, that's just like some of the detail that I've got on it, just because the full pictures you can't really see the layers and all the different colors and textures and stuff. So that's just like another one and another one. I do loads of them now. This is, my cherry blossoms are now they're like my signature thing, and they have been commissioned I think like 5 times, I think it is, just because people are like, oh wow, they're so good. So it's pretty good that I managed to get a style. But yeah, that is all the pictures and everything, and that's my website and stuff. If anyone wants to follow me or message me about anything, then they can. I do not mind very much. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I wanted to cover. But I just wanted to say that this is such a amazing platform, such a amazing opportunity. Like I said, when I went through my creative block, I actually think that it was this that started me being able to come out of it. Even because you responded to me so quick and you're like, yeah, I want you in the summit, and I was like, oh well, this is going to be crazy. Like, yeah, definitely wanted to share my story and everything, because I do feel like that maybe if someone is struggling, that they can pick up a paintbrush or a pencil or whatever and just start being creative, and just how helpful and everything it is to people. Such a personal journey, and then everyone can create their own style as well. I feel like a lot of people think that you have to be a professional artist and go to art school and everything to like be successful, but I feel like in myself that I'm kind of proving people wrong with that sort of, and being like, no, you can do it, you don't have to do all of that. But obviously it does help for some people as well. Yes, yeah. But yeah, if there's any questions or anything, I do not mind answering.
Ruth, there's a lot of comments in the
Yeah.
chat box. So anybody, any questions you have, please send them through to Ruth now. Everyone's loving your work, really inspired by the bravery and how courageous you are to share so openly. I mean, I, for one, I'm definitely touched and moved. And that's one of the reasons when I first spoke to you, I just knew you had to be one of the speakers, because your story really did touch me. It made me, I've lost my mum and my dad. My dad about 3 years ago, my mum about 15 years ago. And it's such a tough time that we go through, the different stages of grieving, and anything that could help with the healing. I mean, it never goes away, right? I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this. It never quite goes away, but in those dips, anything to really take us out of that stage is always a good thing. And how you found that through your creativity, it's truly, truly inspiring. So
yeah, like the dips that you were saying, I feel like people even have that with art as well. It can definitely, where art is so personal and it's a journey as well, it can kind of be the same sort of thing, going up and down and not thinking you're good enough, not thinking you're doing enough, and then actually, you know, kind of being yourself and dealing with it and getting stronger and better at art as well. So important.
Yeah. And one of the things I got is it's almost like you're surrounded by creativity and art from the day you were born, with your grandparents being so creative as well. But it was maybe them passing away was almost like the trigger for you to get that creativity that's always been there out into the world.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if people believe in this as well, and if people can judge me for this, but I went to like a medium person as well, and we connected as well. And then she's kind of been like, oh yeah, they support your art journey, and she said like loads of stuff about so I've been in a couple of magazines, and I had a exhibition and stuff, and she was bringing that up and saying that they know about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So I do definitely feel like they're 100% with me all the time, and that they know what I'm doing, and they're happy that I'm doing and everything as well. But definitely, yeah, I think I needed them going to push me into doing it, which is horrible to say, but
yeah, and I'm sure they're really proud of you, because what you're doing, and I love the fact that you're signing the paintings with their initials. You're keeping them alive. They're keeping their spirit alive.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll be living through generations to come. That is absolutely phenomenal. The chats, you've got to read some of these messages. You are phenomenal. We've got people saying they love your work and they love your story. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only option.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for like the first year after they passed, I was honestly a complete mess. I'm surprised anyone could even be around me like I was. It was not nice, but it's I feel like it's just helped me so much, and I would love art to be able to help other people as well, because it's just great, pretty much.
I'm sure it does. I mean, looking at your work behind you, there's so much energy, there's so much aliveness in your art, and you are bringing the outside garden into the homes.
Yeah.
And that is such a beautiful, powerful concept in itself.
Thank you.
And so much emotion and everything. Craig is saying, I had skin cancer in 2020 and was unable to use my painting arm for a long time because of surgery. Yeah, it's sad. And I think sometimes it takes something to, as Naveen said as well, I think it was Naveen who talked about how to, your boundaries can be your, become your why almost, right? I think she said in a different way, but it can be your why, like this story of your grief. Yeah, opportunity, absolutely. And something so traumatic and sad as what you experienced, you've turned it into an opportunity. These barriers you had, you've turned it into an opportunity, something so beautiful for the world to share and make a difference in their life. So, I applaud you, and I think everyone in this chat absolutely loves you.
Thank you.
Keep going, keep sharing that beauty into this world, and we definitely need more of it, for sure.